What was your reaction to this 11-page letter from Congressman McCarthy?
Well, it's first disappointment. And it's really an extraordinary circumstance when the leader of the Republicans in the House of Representatives really refuses to comply with a subpoena that he's obliged to comply with and retains a criminal defense lawyer. Why would he need that?
Kevin McCarthy's defying the subpoena from the Jan 6 committee? Who could have seen this coming? Except every person on earth that knows anything about anything. I mean, this is the most obvious thing possible. If you're confused by this decision, you probably also believe that there was voter fraud in the Georgia governor election just because Trump's pick got his butt whooped by Kemp. I know that Perdue was supposed to be the great white horse that would come in and reinstitute Trump as president because clearly people in Georgia can't count, according to Donald Trump, who himself cannot count. But Trump's best friend, Kevin McCarthy, continues to stonewall the committee, and the question being asked, for obvious reasons, is what is he hiding?
He also asserted all kinds of ridiculous assertions about the committee itself. Those who have refused to testify have gone to court, and every court that's considered it has said it's just ridiculous and has knocked it down. You know, we have interviewed over 1,000 people, almost all of whom have come in voluntarily, some under subpoena. It's just a small subset of people who've refused to tell the truth, and it's really regrettable that Kevin McCarthy is in that small group.
We all know what he's hiding, some illegal, very shady behavior from him that, of course, made Jan 6 happen and continues the cover-up all the way through it. I mean, he's the man who spoke to Trump on the phone throughout Jan 6. Here, let me just clarify with a quick timeline for you, okay? Kevin McCarthy talked to Trump throughout the day, then blamed him privately, then blamed him publicly, said privately that he wanted to tell him to resign if he spoke to him and if they tried to pull the 25th Amendment on him, then denied he ever said that. Then a day later, audio came out, so he confirmed it because you can't deny facts, even though Republicans do, so I'm surprised he even admitted that. Visited Trump a few weeks later at Mar-a-Lago after blaming him, saying, I made a mistake. None of that was accurate at all, Mr. Trump. Please don't punish me, sir. And then saying publicly he's the most important Republican on planet Earth. He tanked the idea of an independent 9/11-style commission on Jan 6, then withdrew all of his picks from the congressional Jan 6 committee. His picks, by the way, included people targeted by the committee, like Jim Jordan, which would make sense why you wouldn't want that person on the committee. And now, after that, suddenly totally opposed the committee existing at all, which of course led to all Republicans in Congress voting against establishing the committee, except Kinzinger, who is 9 years old, and Liz Cheney. And as a reminder, Cheney just voted against emergency baby formula, and her dad liked to commit war crimes and shoot his friends in the face. So we're already dealing with a low bar of people here. And McCarthy then removed her from GOP leadership just for joining the committee to investigate the attempt to overthrow our government. If you're a patriot who cares about our democracy at all, you got no place in the Republican Party. That's the direct message from Leader McCarthy. And now, of course, McCarthy is refusing to comply with the subpoena to appear before the committee after he already said no to voluntarily going there, and gave that response, denying the subpoena through his criminal defense lawyer that he is now retaining. Sounds like the behavior of a strong leader and an innocent man. I mean, an obviously guilty criminal who is a traitor to our country. I always confuse those two concepts.
Well, it is, but as some retired Republican House members pointed out in their letter, the assault on the Capitol and the effort to overturn the election was also unprecedented. We have examples of officials who were asked to come into the Congress, including, for example, 9/11, where Mr. Dick Cheney, who came in and testified for hours. That's unprecedented, but so was the 9/11 attack.
Look, we have lost any sense of decency in this country. We have lost any sense of rationality in this country. There can be political divides and political disagreements from the left and the right, but those cannot supersede loyalty to country. Those cannot supersede obvious common sense and obvious cover-ups of crimes. The event that he himself said was horrible and an attack on our country and that Trump should be blamed for it, now that he realizes politically that wasn't good for him, he changes his tune and is covering up for that event, is obviously criminal behavior. He is now 100% complicit in the cover-up taking place over January 6th. So that's just the facts. If you're a Republican watching this, that's the facts. You don't need to vote against the guy come next election. You don't need to believe Jan 6 was a coup attempt. And you can just think it's rioters if you want to ignore obvious facts or their stated purpose or, the noose outside of the Capitol building or saying they wanted to hang Mike Pence and kill Nancy Pelosi, or that they were there specifically to stop the certification of the election, or the reason that they were there also was encouraged by the president at the time and his phone buddy during the whole event, Kevin McCarthy. But you still have to at least say, you gotta go testify, dude, if you're not covering anything up. If what you did on Jan 6 is totally kosher, if what happened on Jan 6 in general was totally fine and just a fair way to protest, then you should want your guy going there and saying that and being willing to give any documents that just say, yeah, I might have encouraged it, but also it was a fine thing to encourage. That's what you should be pushing him to do. But if you agree that it seems like there's stuff he's hiding, which obviously there is, then you now are complicit in it as well. So, once again, to recap, you can believe Jan 6 was not as bad as some say it is if you choose to ignore facts or alternative facts as you like to believe them. But you can't see somebody in front of your very eyes covering up for Jan 6 and refusing to say what he discussed with the president and refusing to share everything before and after that event and not realize that he's being shady. If he's innocent, he would testify and all would be good. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense, and knowing the way many of your brains work on the right, it probably doesn't. I'm Ben Gleib. You can subscribe to my News and Politics podcast, Last Week on Earth. New season starting soon. Get a ticket to my worldwide virtual comedy show, Gleib Off the Top, at bengleib.com. You can join from anywhere in the world on your phone or computer, and follow me at Ben Gleib on all social media, posting a new stand-up clip every weekday.